back, Gothic lovers. We finally made it to the Hollow, and I just want to point out it's the hottest day recorded in human history, this day in July, and not sure where you guys are right now, but I am in Romania and it's way over 40 degrees Celsius outside. Literally, the pavement is melting, but let's move on to happier thoughts and play Gothic. And I really want to check something real quick. So the shadow strength is again 0.90. Okay, this is way better.
Stop that sorcery!
I apologize. Let's talk to this guy.
Ah, a visitor. Don't make any trouble here, or else you'll be for it.
I just want to have a look around here.
Then mind you don't step on anybody's feet.
I want to go into the mine.
I can hardly believe you'll manage that. But just speak to Okil.
I'd better be going.
I hope we understand each other.
Alrighty then. So one thing I want to point out is it's the armor design. The armor design is really cool in Gothic because you can actually feel how every individual faction has a unique feel to it. Like mercenaries have this sort of improvised armor set with the wolf skin on top. Rogues basically have hide and leather armor. The old camp has the official guard armor that was previously used by the guards of the realm and so on. So right here is the mine of the new camp called the Hollow. We're just gonna talk to a couple of guys real quick. We only came here to get one item, so this is basically a sort of unofficial secret of the game.
Hey, you! You're not one of my men. What are you doing here?
I'll just have a look around here.
Then just watch out that you don't mess up here in the Hollow, else you'll be in your grave faster than you'd like to think.
Who are you?
I'm Okil. I'm the boss of the Hollow.
I just wanted to have a glance into the mine.
Oh, you just wanted to stroll into the mine. Suppose you don't have a clue what's going on here. Nobody sets a foot in the mine without my permission. Always remember, whoever goes into the mine or the gatehouse without my permission is a dead man.
Will I be allowed to go in?
I don't even know you. Why should I let you go into the mine? Now scram! I have things to see to.
I like the fact that everybody you meet, well, most people you meet actually mistrust you, which is a perfectly reasonable behavior considering we are in a prison. Now, we're gonna talk to this scraper here called Swiney. And one way to get armor earlier in the game is simply go here and talk to Swiney.
Who are you?
I'm the best mining engineer this damn colony has ever seen, my boy. I make sure half our boys don't go getting themselves killed by falling rocks just because they're too stupid to scrape the right places.
I'd like to join you as a scraper.
Oh, yeah? Well, just don't think you're gonna get anything much out of it. There's 3 portions of rice a day. Any extra, you'll have to see to yourself. Do you know why we're doing this? We're doing this job so one day we can all walk out of here to freedom. Well, that means all the ore's to be handed in. Then it goes on the big ore mound. And once a month, everybody who's been working here gets 50 ore to get stoned on. That's the most important things you ought to know. Do you at least have any experience on the job?
Nope.
No.
Of course you don't. Why is it always me? Okay, listen carefully. You take this stuff and put it on. Here. If an ore nugget falls on your foot while you're not wearing your protective clothing, you'll be crippled for life and only worth half of what you were before to us. There'll be a pickaxe lying somewhere around here, but you won't be able to do much with it. Well, so what?
How much ore have you collected so far?
The mages say that we won't need much more. Go to the new camp and have a look at the mound.
Okay, can we enter this building without...
Hey, you!
Nope.
Lucky for you,
We can't.
but I would have enjoyed polishing your mug.
Do you have to say Mr. Rogue? Rogue that has a very cool armor, by the way. Oh, there's a hidden chest here I forgot about. Which has nothing in it. Alrighty then. So you seem to have been stuck right there. So this is basically why we came here. So you can get some quick armor called Digger's Dress, I'm sorry, which is slightly weaker than the armor we have right now. It's a decent armor if you don't have anything, obviously, but we came here to get it for a different reason.
What are you doing at the mine here?
I just wanted to see the mine.
Suppose you can see that the mine is locked, so there's absolutely nothing for you to see.
I just wanted to have a look around the camp.
Then you've come to the wrong place, because this is the mine entrance, and you're not admitted here.
Is there nothing we can do about it?
What should there be to do about it? One moment. If you were trying to bribe me, you have the wrong man here.
No, I wasn't trying to bribe anybody. I just thought that... I guess I'd best be going. How's it going?
It's quiet. A bit too quiet for my liking.
Anything special go on here?
Nothing but a hell of a lot of trouble if you try anything foolish. Oh yeah, and more trouble if you try to get in the mine or the gatehouse without permission.
Who gives the orders here?
Here in the Hollow, everyone does what Okil says. He knows all the big shots in the camp. So if you do anything stupid, the water mages in the new camp will know about it.
How do I join you?
If you want to be one of us, you have to earn yourself a reputation. Go and prove your worth elsewhere. Then maybe you'll be allowed to serve in the Hollow.
Okay, you can also kind of feel how this is a very dangerous place to be in.
I'd just like to have a look around here.
Then leave your fingers in your pockets or I'll chop them off.
Exactly as what I was saying.
I want to go into the mine.
Into the mine? I won't let anybody in here without express permission from Okil.
Akil, isn't that the guy with the big axe and the heavy armor?
Watch what you're saying and how you speak about our boss. I'm gonna tell you something about Okil. He's the toughest guy in the whole camp. He once even sneaked into the castle in the old camp and stole a load of ore from the ore barons. So show a bit more respect, please. I don't know where he is, but if you meet him, you should have that story in the back of your mind.
I'd best be going.
I hope we understand each other.
Kind of like how the game basically drops some tidbits on each character, their backstories, or why you should actually be careful around them.
Okay?
What'd you ask me that for? Everything's under control.
What goes on here in the camp?
We guard the entrance to the mine. No one except our people are allowed in.
Who calls the shots around here?
Okio's in charge here in the Hollow. Lee calls the shots in the camp. So you'd better have a word with both of them.
How can I join this squad?
If you want to work here in the Hollow, you'll have to work your way up in the new camp first. Go and ask there.
Alrighty, I also like how they kind of show the mercenaries as having a sort of tight-knit community. Unlike the old camp, who follow the ore barons out there.
What do you want? I don't want to get into any trouble.
Easy there, man.
What's life like here?
Not complaining. We all have to do our share. At least work is better here than in the old camp. You from the old camp? You're from the old camp. Just you remember, I don't want any trouble.
Easy there.
I need to know more about the camp.
Don't know that I can help you. You better have a word with Swanee or the mercenaries.
Who's in charge here?
The mercenaries are in charge here in the Hollow, but not so much in the new camp. So watch who you mess with.
What do I have to do to join you?
I can't help you there. I'm Small Fry. Talk to Swiney.
Okay, what about you?
How are you doing?
How do you think? Just as bad as usual. Nothing to eat and lots to do. The only one of us who doesn't have his hands full is Swiney. Uncle promoted him to spokesman for us scrapers. Now he stands around here all day making sure no one gets blisters on their hands.
What is this?
What's it look like? The Royal Palace? If you really want to work in the fee mine, you'll have to work your way up here in the Hollow first to prove you're any use to us.
Who's in charge around here?
In charge? Take a look around. It's not the ones that spend all day working their butts off to collect ore, that's for sure.
How do I join the League of Scrapers?
Join us. Now, don't you go thinking we don't work around here just 'cause no one forces us to.
If you think you can just laze around here, then you got another thing coming, my friend. Now, if you still think this place is right for you, you better have a word with Swiney. That's the scraper that stands around smoking all day.
So, unfortunately, this is another example of some cut content that the developers didn't have enough budget for. Now, in the original game, how they envisioned it was that you could start the game as a digger. You know, in the food chain, you are basically the bottom feeder, and you could either be a digger in the old camp or you could be a digger here. But unfortunately, they had to let go of that vision due to, well, an obvious lack of funds. Now, it's a bit dark. Should we pop a torch, I think? Yeah, let's pop a torch. And, well, at least it's raining in the game. I would kill for some rain in real life right now. So it should be okay. It's almost noon, so it's the perfect time to go to the new camp. We're gonna go visit the rice fields, and we're gonna do a quest for a shady guy called Lefty. And after we're gonna do that, we're gonna go visit the local bar. Now, our goal is, again, slightly part of our optimized build and route, is to get some free strength points. And we're gonna do that by first completing a quest. And the quest is to deliver some water for the harvesters. The harvesters which harvest rice fields. Now, it's pretty cool that they added so many details on how, you know, how each camp functions, how each camp gets their supplies, their goods, their food. They told you in the beginning how the old camp gets their food once a month with deliveries, and the new camp just tries to rob them as much as possible. That's also another part of a cut content they had to let go of. Now, normally when you would have joined the new camp, one quest would have given you the opportunity to join a raid, and you would have raided a convoy coming from the old camp. If you look at the Gothic artwork that they had for the game, you can see some artwork referencing raids on the new camp. But again, it's one of those small things they had to let go of due to a lack of budget. It's a real shame. I hope that the Gothic remaster game by THQ Nordic actually fixes that. I mean, I doubt it, but I hope they get hold of some of the old documentation for the game, how they plan some quests and quest lines. Now, I'm not holding my breath, but here's hoping, right? So, another piece of cut content was lighting torches in the camp. Okay, so we finally made it. I'm just gonna take a quick 1-second break. We'll edit the video right here because I need to get some water. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. Let's see what Lefty has to say.
Hey, just arrived? We need somebody to take some water to the peasants in the rice fields. This way you can make friends with a few people. What do you think?
Sure, I'll be glad to help.
Great. Go to the Rice Lord. He'll give you the water and tell you everything you need to know.
Alrighty. So we're gonna talk to the Rice Lord, this fat guy over here.
You take care of the rice fields, don't you?
Why? You looking for work?
Lefty sent me.
Oh, yeah? What did he say?
I'm to bring the peasants some water.
Right. Here's a dozen bottles of water. There's about twice that amount of peasants, so make sure you share it out evenly.
So I think there's a bug here. If you talk to him again...
Lefty sent me.
Oh, yeah?
I'm to bring the peasants...
Right. There's about...
Yeah, you can basically get an infinite amount of water. If you want to exploit this, yeah, you could technically sell it, but it's extremely low value. And it's also a nice touch how basically they don't really care about the peasants at all. There's about 24 peasants here and they only give you a dozen bottles of water. So let's give some water to Horatio and start...
Lefty sent me. I brought you some water.
Thanks, man. I was just about to start drinking the mud.
So yeah, unfortunately, every time we're gonna deliver some water, they're gonna do this long animation of drinking it. Okay, so that's one bottle of water. Let's give you some water as well.
How's it going?
There's a lot of work. We need a lot of rice to feed all these people.
Is there anything I should know about this place?
Be careful at the camp, boy. A lot of cutthroats hang out there, just waiting to lay their hands on a newcomer like you.
Do you have a leader?
Well, you could say the Rice Lord's our leader. But most of us only work for him because they're scared of him and his thugs. Not like me. Well, I've been around a few years, and I've had enough of being knocked around by the rogues in the camp. The rice fields are just right for me.
Lefty sent me. I've brought you some water.
Thanks, boy. I needed that.
Okay, so you can see how they give you an insight into their culture and their values in each camp conversation.
How are you?
We're working our butts off to make sure we get something to eat.
Tell me about this camp.
It's full to the brim with bastards. If it was up to me, I'd have the mercenaries throw all the rogues out of the camp. They don't do their share and only make trouble.
Whose job is it to make sure everything goes according to plan in the fields?
Everyone's. The Rice Lord's supposed to be watching over the work. But if you ask me, he spends all day sitting in his bunker counting his sacks. Well, him and Homer did set all this up.
Lefty sent me. I brought you some water.
Thanks, man. A bit longer and I'd have started drinking mud.
You're welcome. So I really love this simple quest. I mean, it's a basic delivery quest in a way, but it makes sense in the context of the game. I mean, we're basically not that powerful or influential yet, so it's normal to have these kinds of low-level quests that also give you some information for your effort.
Hi, I'm new here. I just wanted to know what goes on around here.
Ask someone else, will ya? I do nothing but work out here in the fields. I don't know nothing. Man, I'd love to tell the Rice Lord to do his own damn dirty work.
If you don't like it, why are you working here?
It happened the first day I got here. Lefty, one of the thugs that works for the Rice Lord, came up to me and asked if I could lend a hand in the rice fields. Sure, I said. I was new here and I wanted to make myself useful. The next day, when I was taking a short rest, the guy turned up again. You don't want to let all your colleagues do all their work by themselves, do you? He asked. I told him I was exhausted from the previous day's work, that I needed a rest and all that. But he never listened. He grabbed me by the collar and dragged me back to the field. From that day on, he stood outside my doorstep every day until I got used to going on my own. I didn't want any trouble with those guys. They're real cutthroats. You'd better steer clear of them.
Well, it's a bit too late for that.
Who is the Rice Lord?
He was one of the first to arrive here. He helped found the camp and start up the rice fields. These days, he just hangs out at the warehouse stretching his stomach, the fat pig.
Lefty sent me. I brought you some water.
Thanks, man. My mouth's like a desert.
Okay, so that's 4 bottles of water so far. Need to give 8 more. Okay. Now, do we have any more named NPCs? I think there's one more called Puck. So yeah, what I wanted to say is that I loved how they do some proper world building, showing how each camp, each group gets their supplies, their food, their everything. And I really want to contrast this by games like Oblivion or Skyrim or Fallout 3. So Fallout 3 especially was a crime against storytelling, to be honest. That's how I would define that game. And I'm gonna argument why.
Hi, I'm new here.
It's good to see a fresh face.
You must have been here a long time, huh?
Damn right, boy. I was one of the first.
In that case, you must know a lot about this place.
So-so. I spend most of my time out here just picking rice. That's what let me get so old. We get some rice and the odd schnapps. That's not much, but that's enough.
Why are you here?
Taxes, boy, taxes. My shed was as empty as my stomach, and I just couldn't pay. So one day the soldiers came and brought me here, but it's no worse in here than it is out there. At least I won't starve in here. I always paid my taxes before, all my life. But that wasn't good enough for that son of a bitch with a crown.
Lefty sent me. I brought you some water.
Thanks, boy. I needed that.
So, cool world building here as well. That shows you how just poorly the war is going. I mean...
Lefty sent me.
Okay. So this is 6. And shows you that the barrier is also filled with a lot of innocent people as well. Like, how many people really can't pay their taxes because they're poor? I mean, a lot. So that's 7, I think. I'm just gonna skip the dialogue and just give them the water itself. So yeah, as I was saying, Fallout 3. You know how in previous Fallout games they actually try to establish how each community gets their food and so on. Like there are farms, there's trading, there's water carriers and so on. Yeah, in Fallout 3, people are eating 200-year-old ham sandwiches and powdered eggs, which honestly, let's assuming that the preservatives were that good back then, but let's face it, the game does a crap poor job when it comes to giving you a compelling story when it comes to how each community gets their food. I mean, the wasteland is a wasteland in Fallout, which is way too ridiculous when you compare it to Fallout 2, where you have thriving farming communities and so on. The game at least does an effort showing you how humanity managed to survive. In Fallout 3, there is no compelling reason why humanity is still alive right there. There is basically no food. At a certain point, you are gonna run out of food to scavenge, right? The waters are entirely irradiated. The mutants that still live in the wasteland are a finite number. You can't hunt effectively to feed the large population. So yeah, it's just a poor storytelling aspect that kills the vibe of the game. Now compare that to this simple, modest game released over 20 years ago, and this game does 1000% a better job at explaining how the world works, and it's just believable. Okay, so we just delivered more than enough water. Let's talk to Lefty again.
Hey, you! Well done. You're useful for something after all. I think this is exactly the right task for you. From now on, you do it every day. Go on with it right now.
Okay, now the important reason why we needed to do this specific quest is we need an argument on how to stand up against the Rice Lord and his thugs. Now, this argument has to be presented to a very specific NPC, an NPC that's found in the local bar. Now, we have the Scraper's uniform, so we can enter the local bar for free. If you don't have the uniform, you can either attempt to fight these two bouncers, and plot twist, you're gonna fail because you're way too weak, or we can just wear the Scraper's uniform and get in for free. So we're gonna equip our Scraper's uniform, and we're gonna visit the bar soon enough. Now, I think this is a perfect moment to end the video right here. So as usual, I want to wish you all a wonderful day. I hope to see you in the next episode, and if you're having one of those specific days, you know the kind I mean, I hope you'll find the strength and wisdom to overcome it. Now, if you want to support the channel, you can visit my Patreon and all that, like and subscribe and all that jazz. And if you don't want to, that's perfectly fine. I do this out of passion. I'm gonna upload videos daily because I really love these games, I really love these specific stories, and I really hope to share them with you for a very long time now. So, until next time, cheers guys, and take care of yourselves.